Welcome back, everyone, to the KOMU Sports Show, and we welcome to our show Jet Roberts and Spencer Kane of the Closer. Spencer, I think, just said hello to someone. It's great to have you guys here. Spencer, furthest away from me. Nothing personal, by the way.
No. Hey,
how are you, sir?
We're doing great. I'm doing great. It's good to be 4-0 for the Missouri Tigers.
Jet, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. We've got a divisional champion St. Louis Cardinals baseball team. Couldn't get better.
Life really is good if you're a sports fan in Missouri. Oh, except for the NFL teams in our state who are combined 0-6.
There's that, yes. There's that. As
All right,
scooch
guys.
in my chair.
Let's not worry about that, though. Let's talk about the Missouri football Tigers, off to a 4-0 start, as Spencer mentioned. Can't get any better than 4-0 right now. What are your thoughts, though, on the team and the play to this point?
Well, we thought about, coming into this season, what are your expectations coming into this season? I thought 1-3 or 3-1 would be pretty good. If you drop one of those games, be it Nebraska or at Nevada, either Illinois or at Nevada, then you're probably still okay for the rest of your season. 4-0, oh, great. 1/3 of the way through. Now you just got to win 4 more games to get to 8 wins. So far, so good. There's some things you still got to get sewn up. And one of the strengths we thought coming into the season, the offensive line, hasn't really executed like we expect them to especially for the running game. But hey, 4-0, there's nothing to frown out about that.
Jet, what do you say?
Mizzou fans are nitpicky. I love it. I mean, at this point in the season, I didn't think we would be in a situation where we would be picking nits at different phases of Missouri football, but here they are. They're 4-0, and we're looking at little things like, well, geez, they're just starting so slowly in these games. That's a wonderful thing, I think, and all of those things are fixable, so who knows? It's sky's the limit now, isn't it, Chris?
Well, it sure seems that way. 4-0 is a great start, and I think they're going to fare very well in the Big 12 Conference. Certainly one of the pivotal games, the one that I think most everybody had circled heading into the year, Nebraska, and that's the next game for the Tigers, 1 week from Thursday at Furrow Field. It's good for Mizzou to be home in that game. Spencer, what do you expect? The Huskers, in my opinion, certainly will be clearly the best team far and away Missouri's played yet this year.
It sounds like it's going to be about a pick-em game going into. Nebraska fans have been drinking the Kool-Aid. There's delicious red Kool-Aid apparently up there in Lincoln. I'm not convinced about how good they are. I think the Tigers, if they play well, can beat any team left on their schedule, and that includes University of Texas, by the way. But also, they've shown a little bit of inconsistency, and if you get off to a slow start against better offenses and better defenses, like we're going to see, particularly over the next 3 games, you can drop those games too.
Well, Jet, Missouri's never beaten an Oklahoma or a Texas under Gary Pinkel, but I'm not going to worry about the Longhorns just yet.
Right.
Nebraska's here next to start this monster month of October when you think about Nebraska followed by at Oklahoma State, home to Texas, at Colorado. But what about the matchup with the Huskers, who are 3-1, only lost by 1 point at Virginia Tech?
Well, I'll say this about Nebraska. They better put one in the end zone. I mean, 5 field goals isn't going to do it against Missouri. We've seen that Missouri can move the football, probably not as quickly or as prolifically as in 07 or 08, but they can move the football, and they have some weapons, so they will put points on the board. Nebraska's going to have to find ways to do that as well. But there is one thing that I did notice that I think is going to be a nice little tinge on this whole thing, is that the game's going to be played in Columbia, obviously. It's going to be a Thursday night, but following the Providence Bowl, on the big screen scoreboard, it had Rockbridge and Hickman on the screen, right? Well, when the game gets finished, they took off the Rockbridge and Hickman off the scoreboard, and they put Missouri, Nebraska. And the fans that were there at Furrow Field were going nuts. So we're ready, and that's going to be a big deal, are the 70,000-plus fans that are going to be in that stadium.
I hope people take the time to get there, get parked, do an abbreviated tailgating, and get inside the stadium in time for the national anthem. We want it to be a raucous atmosphere like it was really 2 years ago. That was a party on that Gold Rush night when the Tigers really laid the lumber to the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and that was really the springboard to a great season in 2007. You have an opportunity to do that again this year.
That game parallels, too, from the 07 game. It really has a lot of parallels, really.
Missouri has won 3 in a row at home against Nebraska, and 4 of the last 5 in the series. The Huskers, the Tigers really have the upper hand now in the series after all those difficult years. So in our final minute, guys, each of you, who is the team to beat in the Big 12 North?
In the Big 12 North, I still think it's the Missouri Tigers. I'm not sure about what Nebraska has. They have a tough schedule. Kansas has the tougher schedule of the 3 at the top with Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas. I'll take our Tigers. I haven't seen anything to make me doubt what they can do the rest of the way.
They've lost one game to Big 12 North opponents in the last 2 years, and that was to Kansas at Arrowhead last season, a game many Missouri fans, and I'm sure the Missouri players and coaching staff probably felt like they should have gone on there and taken it from the get-go. I think if you're the king of the mountain, you have to be knocked off before you can pick anybody else, no matter what other media sources or other coaches say. I think Missouri is always going to be the team to beat until they are finally knocked off.
Well, folks, they're the closers. Weekdays 4 to 6 on KFRU Radio, AM 1400. Jed actually gets up early in the morning, does the morning drive sports, too, on David Lyle's show.
That's
6 to 8 a.m., right?
Yes, very, very early in the morning, but
well,
I get to wear khaki shorts in the morning. So
it's a good thing our radio show's not in high def, that's for sure.
That's for sure. But we will continue on this high-definition television program. Guys, thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Chris.
Folks, we're back right after this.